My beloved child, stop right here. Do not scroll away from this moment. I am speaking to you this directly, because your season is turning right now. I am not speaking into the air. I am not speaking to a crowd. I am speaking to the hidden place in you that has been asking me for one clear sign. You thought you found this by accident. You did not. Your eyes were guided here because your heart was about to walk past something I placed in your path. I interrupted your day with mercy. I stepped into the noise around you because the voice of fear has been too loud for too long. This is not just another message. This is not another gentle reminder you can save and forget. I am calling you close because the old season is losing its grip, and the next door will require a version of you that no longer obeys the old fear. Listen to me with your whole heart. I know you are tired. I know you have been strong for people who never asked how much strength it cost you. I know the smile you wear when your spirit is heavy, and I know the prayers you stopped finishing because hope felt dangerous. You have felt the shift already. Do not deny it. The restlessness is not random. The heaviness is not punishment. The strange silence around certain things is not abandonment, because your spirit has been sensing a movement your mind could not explain yet. You have been waking up with a weight on your chest. Some mornings, you open your eyes and feel the battle before your feet touch the floor. You try to pray. You try to think clearly. You try to gather yourself. But something inside you keeps whispering, "This cannot be all there is." My child, that whisper did not come from despair. It came from the part of you that still remembers my promise. It came from the place in you that survival could not destroy, even when disappointment tried to make you lower your expectations. You have been asking why certain doors stopped opening. You have been wondering why some people suddenly feel heavy to be around. You have been confused by the way your own heart is pulling back from things you once tolerated without question. That is not confusion. That is separation. I am teaching your spirit to stop calling captivity familiar. I am teaching your heart to recognize what drains it. I am teaching your feet to hesitate before they walk back into places I already delivered you from. You asked me for change, but you expected the change to begin outside you. You expected a new message, a new person, a new opportunity, a new answer. But I began deeper. I began with your appetite. I began with your peace. I began with what you could no longer pretend was acceptable. You are not becoming difficult. You are becoming clear. You are not becoming cold. You are becoming guarded by wisdom. You are not losing your heart. You are finally learning that a heart I gave you must not be handed to every hand that reaches for it. This is why I am speaking directly. You have ignored soft warnings before. You have explained away discomfort. You have called my conviction overthinking, and you have called my protection delay because the answer did not look the way you imagined. I am not angry with you. Hear that clearly. I am not here to shame you. I am here to wake you with tenderness before the old pattern convinces you to stay one more season in a place I have already left. The season is turning now, not tomorrow, not someday, not when every detail makes sense. It is turning in the invisible place first, where I remove your agreement with fear before I change the room around you. You wanted me to move the mountain. I am moving the fear that made the mountain look permanent. You wanted me to silence every enemy. I am teaching you to stop building your identity from voices that never carried my heart. You wanted me to open the door. I am preparing the person who will walk through it, because a door opened too early can become a burden, but a door opened in my timing becomes inheritance. Do you understand why the pressure increased? It was not because I forgot you. It was because what used to work in the old season can no longer carry you forward. The old comfort lost its power. The old distractions stopped soothing you. The old excuses stopped protecting you. That is a sign. Do not miss it. When I turn a season, I first disturb what kept you asleep. I allow holy discomfort to rise where you once settled, because comfort in the wrong place can become a quiet prison. You have been feeling pulled away from certain conversations. You have been sensing a door closing in your spirit before it closed in your life. You have been trying to explain the ache, but the ache is not always a wound. Sometimes the ache is birth. Something new is pressing through you. Something sacred is rising under the tired places. The part of you that thought it was too late is being touched again, and the dream you buried under survival is beginning to breathe. But I need your attention, not half of it, not the part of you that listens while planning how to protect the old cycle. I need the part of you that is honest enough to admit that you are tired of pretending the old season still fits. You have outgrown what you keep trying to shrink back into. You have outgrown the version of love that requires you to disappear. You have outgrown rooms where your silence was rewarded more than your truth. And still, you have wondered if leaving means you failed. It does not. Some exits are obedience. Some endings are protection. Some closed doors are my hands holding you back from a version of life that would have drained your calling. I know this is hard to hear. You wanted restoration without release. You wanted new oil in an old container. You wanted fresh peace while keeping the same agreements that kept opening the door to confusion. But I love you too much to bless what is breaking you. I love you too much to decorate a prison and call it destiny. I love you too much to let you confuse familiarity with covenant. This is why I said I am speaking this directly. There is no more room for the vague place. There is no more room for almost obedience. There is no more room for asking me to confirm what I have already shown you in the deepest part of your spirit. And now I must tell you what you feared to hear. This is the last time I will speak to you this way. Do not misunderstand me. I am not leaving you. I am not withdrawing my love. I am not closing my heart toward you. I mean, the old method is ending. I will not keep using pain to get your attention when I have already given you wisdom. I will not keep letting crisis be the only language that makes you move when peace has been speaking for months. I have sent signs. I have sent dreams. I have sent quiet discomfort. I have let certain words disturb you. I have let certain doors resist you. I have let your spirit feel the weight of what your mind kept trying to justify. And still, you waited for louder proof. You waited for the situation to become unbearable. You waited until your body carried what your spirit already knew. My child, I do not want pain to be your teacher forever. This is the last time I will speak to you through this old kind of pressure. I am calling you higher now. I am calling you into faster obedience, clearer discernment, deeper peace, and a trust that moves before everything becomes obvious. You are not a child in the same way anymore. You are still my beloved. You are still held. You are still covered. But I am maturing the way you hear me, because the season ahead cannot be led by delayed obedience. When I whisper, you must learn to listen. When peace leaves, you must stop bargaining. When I expose a pattern, you must stop asking me to bless your return to it. When I open a door, you must stop standing outside it because the last door hurt you. You prayed for a new season. This is part of the answer. A new season is not only a new blessing, it is a new response. It is a new yes. It is a new refusal to keep making excuses for what I already named. My child, I saw the nights you cried quietly. I saw you ask if you were behind. I saw you compare your life to people who seemed to arrive faster, while you were still trying to understand why the same wall kept standing in front of you. You are not behind. You were being protected. You were being deepened. You were being separated from things that could celebrate your gift but not protect your soul. You were being trained to carry what would have crushed an unhealed version of you. The delay was not a denial. The waiting was not wasted. The silence was not absence. I was working beneath the surface, where no one could clap, where no one could understand, where no one could give you credit for still trusting me. You thought nothing was happening because nothing looked different, but roots grow in hidden places. Strength forms in quiet places. Discernment sharpens in lonely places. And I was building what could not be seen before I released what could be celebrated. That is why this moment matters. You are standing at a threshold. The old season is not fully gone, and the new season is not fully visible. This is the dangerous middle, where many people turn back because familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar promise. Do not turn back. The old pain knows your name, but it does not know your future. The old cycle knows your weakness, but it does not know the authority I am restoring in you. The old fear knows your history, but it cannot command your next step unless you agree. I am asking for your agreement today. Not a perfect performance, not a loud display, not words said to impress people. I am asking for the quiet yes that changes the direction of your life. Say yes to release. Say yes to clarity. Say yes to peace that cost you old attachments. Say yes to obedience that may not make sense to everyone watching. Say yes to the version of you that no longer needs to be understood by people who benefit from your confusion. This is where the turning begins. It begins in the secret agreement of your heart. It begins when you stop asking for signs while resisting the sign already in front of you. It begins when you admit that your peace has been telling the truth. I am not asking you to understand every detail. I am asking you to trust the one who sees the whole path. I am not asking you to be fearless. I am asking you to stop letting fear lead. Your season is turning right now, not because you forced it, not because you earned it through exhaustion, not because you proved your worth by suffering long enough. It is turning because my timing has touched your life, and what I have spoken over you must come forward. The ground beneath you is changing. The relationships around you are being revealed. The desires within you are being purified. The dreams you buried are being uncovered, because I am not finished with the part of you that disappointment tried to silence. You thought the heaviness meant you were failing. No, the heaviness was the weight of transition. You thought the tears meant you were weak. No, the tears were washing your vision. You thought the loneliness meant you were rejected. No, the loneliness was separation for consecration. I have not abandoned you in the hallway. I have not forgotten you between doors. I have not left you in the middle of the story. The middle is where trust becomes real, because you cannot yet see the ending, and still you choose my voice. Stay with me. There is more I must show you. In the next part of this word, I will uncover why the old season could not come with you, why certain things had to fall away, and why what looked like loss was actually protection. But before I take you deeper, respond from the honest place in you. Write, I am listening, Lord. Do not write it for attention. Do not write it for performance. Write it as agreement. Let your own words witness that you did not ignore the moment I placed before you. Breathe now. Let your shoulders drop. Let your hands open. You are not being rushed by fear. You are being called by love. And love is telling you the truth today, because the season is turning, and you must not carry the old chains through the new door. My child, I saw what they did not see. I saw the tears you swallowed before anyone entered the room. I saw the way you carried yourself like everything was fine, while your spirit was asking how much longer it had to keep standing. They saw you become quiet. I saw you choosing peace over another useless argument. They saw you pull away. I saw you finally stop begging for love from places that only knew how to take. They saw distance, but I saw deliverance beginning in secret. You were not forgotten in those rooms. You were not invisible in those conversations. You were not alone when your name was spoken unfairly, because I heard every word and measured every motive before you tried to defend yourself. But my beloved child, some people did not misunderstand you by accident. Some misunderstood you because understanding you would have required them to change how they treated you. Some called you sensitive because your discernment exposed what their words tried to hide. I did not ask you to keep shrinking so others could stay comfortable. I did not ask you to keep bleeding in silence so they could keep calling themselves innocent. I did not create your heart to become a storage place for everyone else's refusal to heal. That is why I began to pull you back. You thought you were losing connection, but I was breaking attachment. You thought the relationship was fading, but I was revealing what had been held together by your effort alone. I was there in the pit. I was there in the silence. I was there when no one apologized. So do not call every loss a curse, because some endings are my mercy moving before you understand the danger. I am showing you why the old season could not come with you. It carried too much mixture. It carried old agreements. It carried names I never gave you, burdens I never assigned, and fears that kept speaking louder than my promise. The first thing I am removing is false comfort. You know what I mean. The things that did not heal you, but only helped you avoid feeling the wound, the scrolling, the overthinking, the returning, the explaining. You noticed it already. The old distractions do not work the same. The same habits leave you more tired. The same conversations feel smaller. The same escape does not quiet the ache, because I am not letting your soul be soothed by what cannot save it. The second thing I am removing is false responsibility. You carried too much. You carried moods that were not yours. You carried guilt that belonged to people who refused to repent. You carried the pressure to fix what others kept breaking. But I am ending that pattern. I am not taking love out of you. I am purifying it. I am teaching you that holy love does not mean endless access, and mercy does not mean you must keep standing where wisdom told you to step away. The third thing I am removing is false identity. This one has been hidden deep. You stopped only describing what happened to you, and you began calling yourself by the pain it caused. But those names did not come from me. I did not call you abandoned. I did not call you forgotten. I did not call you foolish for hoping. I did not call you weak because you cried while still choosing to stand. I am changing the name you answer to. You will not keep responding when shame calls you by your past. You will not keep bowing when fear calls you unworthy. You will not keep accepting labels from seasons I have already started to close. You are my beloved. You are being restored. You are being sharpened. You are being separated. You are being prepared. And yes, you are being chosen again in the places where rejection told you that you had been disqualified. Now I must show you another layer. The battle against you was not always loud. It was not always obvious. Much of it came through confusion so quiet that you thought it was your own personality. The enemy did not need to destroy you loudly if he could distract you quietly. He did not need to take your promise if he could make you too tired to believe it. He did not need to close every door if he could convince you to stop walking. He used shame like a fog. He used delay like a question. He used exhaustion like a prison. He used comparison like a mirror, and every time you looked into it, you forgot the way I had actually been forming you. But do not be afraid. I am not revealing this to make you panic. I am revealing it so you stop blaming yourself for every attack you survived. I am revealing it so you can separate your voice from the voice of accusation. Accusation says, "You are too late." My voice says, "You are being prepared." Accusation says, "You ruined everything." My voice says, "I can redeem even this." Accusation says, "You are alone." My voice says, "I have never left you." That is why I am speaking this directly. The noise around you has become too skilled at sounding like your own thoughts. So, I am cutting through the fog with truth, and I am calling your spirit back to the sound of my voice. You do not need to fight every thought with fear. Bring the thought into my light. Ask, does this sound like condemnation or correction? Does it lead me to peace or panic? Does it pull me toward obedience or back into a cycle? Now let me reframe the delays you have been grieving. You called some of them unanswered prayers. You called some of them closed doors. You called some of them proof that maybe I had chosen others and left you behind. But I was protecting you in places where speed would have wounded you. You asked for a door before your roots were ready. You asked for a platform before your heart was healed from needing approval. You asked for love before you could recognize peace from intensity. I did not say no because I enjoyed your waiting. I said not yet because I loved the person you would become through preparation. I slowed what would have outrun your healing, because blessing without wholeness can become another place where pain hides. The delay in healing was not because your faith was too small. Healing often begins deeper than symptoms. I was touching memories, patterns, fears, and agreements that had lived inside you longer than you realized. You wanted quick relief. I wanted full restoration. You wanted the pain to stop. I wanted the source to be healed. You wanted me to change the moment, but I was changing the foundation that kept recreating the same pain. My beloved child, nothing was wasted. Not the night you cried and still chose not to quit. Not the day you felt forgotten and still whispered my name. Not the season where your strength looked small, but your surrender was great. Now the old season is being exposed for what it was. It was not your final home. It was a training ground. It showed you what could not come with you. It revealed what had to be healed before it could be carried into promise. And yes, some people were exposed too. Not so you would hate them, not so you would become proud, but so you would stop giving sacred access to those who treated your presence like a convenience and your forgiveness like a guarantee. Do not keep asking me to restore what I am removing. Do not keep praying for a closed door to reopen when I closed it to protect your future. Do not keep calling it love when it requires you to abandon the person I am healing. I know release hurts. I know the empty space can feel frightening. I know you may miss what wounded you because it was familiar, but missing something does not mean you are meant to return to it. This is why I could not let the old season come with you. It would have called your bondage loyalty. It would have called your exhaustion love. It would have called your fear wisdom. It would have called your delay identity. But I am naming things correctly now. Bondage is not loyalty. Exhaustion is not love. Fear is not wisdom. Delay is not identity. And survival is not the fullness of the life I am leading you into. You are allowed to be free. Say that slowly inside your heart. You are allowed to be free. You are allowed to stop carrying what was never yours. You are allowed to leave what I have judged as finished. You do not need another person to agree before you obey me. You do not need everyone to understand before you follow peace. You do not need the old season to bless your departure before you step into the new one. Before I move you into the next part of this word, respond from the place that is ready to let go. Write, I release the old season. Do not write it as a performance. Write it as a witness. Let those words become a line in the sand. Let them speak to the fear that still wants to bargain. Let them speak to the memory that still wants to return. Let them speak to the old identity that still answers when shame calls. I am not taking from you. I am making room. I am not emptying your life to leave you barren. I am clearing the ground for what could not grow in the soil of confusion, fear, and false responsibility. Stay close now. The next part is not about what you lost. It is about what I am restoring. I am going to show you why you were not born to live this foggy, this scattered, this disconnected from the gift I placed inside you. Your mind is being called back. Your discernment is being sharpened. Your appetite is being changed. And the part of you that thought it had gone silent is about to hear me again with a clarity that fear cannot counterfeit. My beloved child, you were not born this foggy. You were not created to live with a cloud over your mind and a war inside your chest. I did not place my breath in you so you would spend your whole life feeling scattered, delayed, and disconnected from your own calling. There was a time when you believed more easily. There was a time when your thoughts moved with light. There was a time when your heart could sense my nearness without arguing with fear for permission to trust me. That part of you is not dead. It has been buried under survival. It has been covered by disappointment. It has been quieted by years of carrying too much, but I am calling it back. You have mistaken exhaustion for identity. You have mistaken mental heaviness for who you are. You have said, maybe this is just me now, because the battle lasted so long that you started building a name from the weight. But that name is not mine. I did not call you confused. I did not call you slow. I did not call you powerless. I did not call you too damaged to hear me clearly again. I am restoring what was suppressed in you. I am touching the part of your mind that learned to shut down because life demanded too much from you. I am touching the part of your spirit that stopped expecting joy because disappointment kept arriving first. You thought the season was only about a door opening. It is deeper than that. I am not only changing your circumstances, I am restoring the way you see, the way you hear, the way you choose, and the way you trust. You have been asking for direction, but I am also healing the instrument through which direction is received. You have been asking for clarity, but I am also removing the fear that made every answer feel unsafe. Your mind is not your enemy. Your sensitivity is not your curse. Your ability to feel deeply is not a mistake. Those gifts became heavy because they were carried without rest, without boundaries, and without enough truth. So I am bringing you back to truth. I am bringing you back to the clean place. I am bringing you back to the childlike place that believed. My voice before shame taught you to doubt every good thing. Listen carefully. The first sign that your season is turning is this. Your appetite is changing. What used to entertain you is losing its taste. What used to numb you is no longer enough. You are noticing it. The same conversations feel empty. The same habits leave you restless. The same distractions cannot cover the ache like they once did because I am removing your hunger for what kept you asleep. This is not punishment. This is purification. When I change a season, I first change what you can tolerate. I make captivity uncomfortable before I open the path into freedom. You may feel strange because of this. You may wonder why you cannot enjoy certain things anymore. You may ask why old comforts now feel heavy. But that discomfort is my kindness protecting your future. Do not run back just because the new hunger feels unfamiliar. A clean appetite can feel lonely at first. A purified desire can feel like loss before it becomes peace. But stay with the work I am doing. The second sign is this. Your discernment is sharpening. You are beginning to sense what you once ignored. You are hearing the hidden meaning behind certain words, and you are feeling the spirit behind certain invitations. This does not mean you are suspicious of everyone. That is not what I am teaching you. I am not making you bitter. I am making you clear, because love without discernment kept leaving you wounded and confused. You used to explain away the warning. You used to silence the discomfort. You used to call it overthinking when your spirit knew something was wrong, and you waited for pain to prove what peace had already told you. Now you are learning faster. A message comes, and something in you pauses. A door opens, and something in you waits. A familiar voice returns, and something in you remembers the cost. Do not apologize for the clarity I gave you. Do not shrink your discernment to make others comfortable. Do not call my warning fear when it leads you away from confusion and back into peace. The third sign is this. Your mind is being called back. You are beginning to remember that you were made to create, build, learn, speak, decide, and move with holy confidence. The fog has not had the final word. The heaviness has not erased your gift. The delay has not destroyed your ability to hear me. It only buried some things I am now bringing back to the surface. You may notice small sparks. A thought returns. An idea comes. A desire to organize your life begins quietly. A dream you dismissed starts tapping on the door of your heart again. Do not despise those small sparks. They are not small to me. They are evidence that restoration has begun, and I often begin with a whisper before I release a wave. You were not created to survive on a fraction of what I placed inside you. You were not created to live divided inside yourself, one part hoping and another part preparing for disappointment. I am bringing you into agreement. I am healing the split between what you believe and what you expect. I am aligning your heart with my promise, and I am teaching your mind to stop rehearsing outcomes that fear invented. There is a reason your thoughts have felt crowded. There is a reason peace has felt hard to hold. There is a reason your focus has been attacked, because a clear mind can obey faster than a mind trapped in fog. A clear mind can notice the door. A clear mind can recognize the pattern. A clear mind can receive instruction without turning every step into a war. That is why restoration must reach your thoughts too. My child, I created the spirit, and I also created the mind. I speak through prayer. I speak through peace. I speak through scripture. I speak through conviction. And sometimes I place wisdom in the hands of people who study what I have made. So listen without fear. I am not replacing faith with a tool. I am not asking you to trust a method more than my voice. I am showing you that restoration can have many vessels when my hand is guiding the provision. There are people who think their fog is laziness. There are people who think their scattered thoughts mean they are broken. There are people who believe they simply lost the bright part of themselves and can never return to it. But what if some of what you called weakness was disconnection? What if some of what you called failure was exhaustion? What if the gift inside you was not gone, but waiting for the right support to wake what had gone quiet? I want you to receive this with peace. A neurologist in New York City, Dr. Daniel Barone, worked with a team around the way the two sides of the brain can be supported into fuller connection. The work points towards something called whole brain activation. This is not strange to me. I formed the mind with depth. I formed the brain with wonder. I placed mysteries inside the human body that generations would slowly uncover, and wisdom is not less holy because it can be studied. There was research connected to Dr. Roger Sperry, whose split brain work received a Nobel Prize. It helped reveal how much changes when the two hemispheres of the brain communicate in a fuller way. Think about that gently. When the mind is divided, life can feel divided. When focus is scattered, obedience can feel harder. When clarity is suppressed, even simple steps can feel like climbing a mountain. But when the mind begins to reconnect, something powerful can happen. Creativity can return, calm can return, learning can feel less distant, decisions can feel less impossible because the inner noise is no longer ruling the room. Dr. Barone and his team took this understanding and shaped it into a simple 8-minute targeted auditory sequence. It is designed to support hemisphere synchronization and whole brain activation in a way that does not require expensive machines. They call it the genius switch. It is not a replacement for prayer. It is not a shortcut around obedience. It is not a promise that you will never face another battle. It is a tool that may support the mind I am restoring. You simply put on headphones. You close your eyes. You listen for 8 minutes a day. You do not need to force yourself into a complicated practice, and you do not need to perform your way into receiving support. Hear me clearly. Do not receive anything from pressure. Do not receive anything from panic. Do not receive anything because you feel behind. I do not lead my children through manipulation. But if the part of this message about your mind being called back spoke to you, then look with peace. The link in the description points to where Dr. Barone and his team explain the full sequence, the process, and the guarantee. On that page, they explain why this is not a common soundtrack and why it is only available through their direct page. They also explain the 8-minute protocol, the lifetime access, and the support that comes with it. The page today shows it for $39. It also includes additional bonuses and a full money-back guarantee, so you can review it without feeling trapped by fear or pressure. If it is not for you, remain in peace. If it is for you, move with wisdom. I am not asking you to chase every resource. I am teaching you to recognize when provision meets a real place of need. And now return your attention to me. No tool replaces surrender. No resource replaces obedience. No method replaces my presence. I can use provision, but the turning of your season still begins with your yes. The restoration I am doing in you is holy. It is not only about feeling better, it is about becoming available to my instruction again. It is about hearing clearly, choosing wisely, and walking without the old fog deciding your future. Your appetite is changing. Your discernment is sharpening. Your mind is being called back. These are not random signs. These are markers that the old season is losing authority and the new season is beginning to speak. Do not be afraid of the quiet. Do not be afraid of the empty space. Do not be afraid when the old noise no longer satisfies you, because I often remove the noise before I reveal the next instruction. You are not losing yourself. You are returning. You are not starting from nothing. You are coming back to what I placed inside you before fear, rejection, and survival taught you to live smaller than my design. The dream is not dead. The gift is not gone. The calling is not expired. The clarity is not impossible. The fire is not finished. I am breathing on what disappointment tried to bury. Stay close now. The next part is where you cross. I will show you how to step into the new season without dragging the old chains behind you, because an open door still requires a surrendered heart. My beloved child, the door is open, but the old version of you cannot lead the next season. I honor the version that survived. I saw how hard that version fought. I saw how much it carried when no one understood the weight. But survival is not the same as inheritance. Survival helped you make it through the storm, but it cannot teach you how to live in the promise. The version of you that learned to expect pain cannot be the one deciding what peace is allowed to look like. I am not asking you to hate who you were. I am asking you to stop letting who you were govern where I am taking you. That version protected you in the wilderness, but now I am calling you to walk as someone who is no longer owned by the wilderness. You cannot enter the new season begging to be chosen. I have already chosen you. You cannot enter it apologizing for your healing. You cannot enter it shrinking so people who preferred your brokenness will not feel uncomfortable. The door is open, but fear cannot be your counselor. The door is open, but shame cannot be your name. The door is open, but the old agreement with disappointment must be broken before you try to carry promise in wounded hands. I am closing the cycle of begging for what I already promised. I am breaking the agreement you made with disappointment. I am removing the fear that taught you to shrink before anyone even rejected you. I am restoring the clarity you lost in confusion. I am calling you out of emotional debt. I am teaching you that love does not require you to abandon yourself, and obedience does not require you to explain every step to people who do not hear my voice for your life. This is the crossing. Not just a feeling, not just a message, not just a moment that makes you cry and then return to the same chains. This is where your yes must become movement. You asked me for a new beginning. Now I am showing you the cost of one. The cost is not your peace. The cost is not your dignity. The cost is the old pattern that kept convincing you to trade peace for familiarity. There are things you must do now, not someday, not when everyone agrees, not when fear becomes quiet. In the next 3 days, I want you to move with obedience, because small obedience will open space for greater clarity. First, stop negotiating with what I already exposed. You do not need 10 more confirmations about a pattern I have already revealed. You do not need another wound to prove what your spirit already knows. When peace leaves, pay attention. When your body tightens around the same person, pay attention. When you feel yourself shrinking to keep connection, pay attention. I am not teaching you paranoia. I am teaching you holy awareness. Do not return to the same door just because it knows your name. Do not answer the same cycle just because it sounds familiar. Do not call it loyalty when it keeps requiring you to ignore what I already showed you. Second, clean one physical space. Start small. Clear your desk. Make your bed. Clean the corner where you pray. Empty the bag you keep carrying with old receipts, old weight, and old reminders. This is not about appearance. It is about agreement. When you clear space around you, you are telling your own soul that the old clutter does not get to prophesy over the new season. Do it slowly. Do it with prayer. Touch one thing at a time and ask, does this belong in the season I am entering? Some things will stay, some things must go. Some things have been holding memory longer than you realized. Third, write down what you are no longer available for. Do not keep it vague. Put language around the freedom I am giving you. Write it plainly. I am no longer available for confusion. I am no longer available for one-sided love. Write, I am no longer available for shrinking. I am no longer available for delayed obedience. I am no longer available for begging to be valued. I am no longer available for calling anxiety wisdom. These words will not save you by themselves, but they will help you see the agreements you have been living under. Many chains remain strong because they stay unnamed, but when truth names them, their authority begins to weaken. Fourth, protect the first hour of your day. Do not hand your mind to noise before you hand your heart to me. Do not let a screen become the first voice that shapes your expectation. Wake gently if you can, breathe, pray, sit in silence for a few moments. Let your body learn that the day does not have to begin with panic, and let your spirit remember that my voice comes before the demands of the world. This will feel difficult at first. Your old pattern may reach for distraction. Your mind may look for something to worry about. But stay with me there, because the first hour can become a doorway into a steadier life. Fifth, speak the new agreement out loud. Say, Lord, I receive the new season without carrying the old chains. Say it when fear rises. Say it when memory pulls. Say it when the old version of you wants to run back to what I delivered you from. Your voice matters, not because words are magic, but because agreement shapes direction. When you speak truth in faith, you are refusing to let fear be the only voice in the room. Now let me close what I opened in this message. You asked why I am speaking so directly. I am speaking this directly because you are at the edge of a turning, and vague attention will not carry you through a holy threshold. Your season is turning because the old cycle has lost its right to define you. The appetite that once kept you numb is changing. The discernment you silenced is sharpening. The mind that felt buried under fog is being called back into light. You asked what I meant when I said this is the last time I will speak to you this way. I did not mean I am leaving. I did not mean my love is ending. I meant the old method is ending. I will not keep using pain as the loudest messenger when I have already placed wisdom within your reach. I will not keep allowing crisis to be the only thing that moves you when my peace has been speaking all along. The next season requires faster obedience. It requires cleaner listening. It requires you to stop waiting for destruction before you honor discernment. It requires you to trust my whisper before the storm has to prove my warning. You asked why the delay happened. The delay was not abandonment. It was protection. It was formation. It was separation. It was the hidden place where I built roots deep enough to carry fruit without breaking under the weight. You asked why some people had to fall away. Some could not travel with the promise. Some loved your usefulness more than your wholeness. Some could receive from your gift, but could not honor your healing. Do not hate them, release them. Do not curse the season, learn from it. Do not rehearse the wound until it becomes your identity. Let me take the lesson and leave the bitterness behind. Now hear my declaration over you. I am turning the season where you were overlooked. I am turning the season where you gave and received silence. I am turning the season where you prayed with tears and woke to the same battle. I am turning the season where your mind felt clouded and your heart felt heavy. I am turning the season where you thought my silence meant absence. I am turning the season where fear taught you to expect loss before hope could speak. I am turning the season where you kept apologizing for needing peace. I am turning the season where you made yourself smaller to keep people close. I am turning the season where you called survival normal because you forgot what freedom felt like. You will not enter this next chapter begging to be chosen. You will enter it knowing I already chose you. You will not enter it chasing people who only value you when you are easy to control. You will walk with quiet authority. You will love without abandoning wisdom. You will serve without losing yourself. You will forgive without reopening doors I closed for your protection. The people who only understood your wounded version may not recognize your healed one. Let that be okay. The rooms that needed you exhausted may not welcome your peace. Let that be okay. You do not need permission from the old season to obey me. You do not need applause from people who benefited from your confusion. You do not need approval from places I am no longer asking you to stay. Clarity is returning. Courage is returning. Discernment is returning. The ability to build is returning. The desire to dream is returning. The sound of my voice is becoming clearer than the noise of fear. Do not be surprised when small things begin to change first. A cleaner morning, a quieter mind, a stronger no, a softer heart, a door you do not chase, a peace you do not explain. These are not small signs to me. They are evidence of the crossing. They are evidence that the old chains are no longer ruling the way they once did. They are evidence that you are learning how freedom feels. And when fear asks, what if nothing changes? Answer with truth, I am changing. When shame asks, who do you think you are? Answer with truth, I am beloved. When the old cycle calls, Answer with silence and keep walking. You do not owe your bondage another conversation. You do not owe confusion another chance to persuade you. You do not owe the past your future simply because it once held your heart. My beloved child, this is your instruction. Walk slowly if you must, but do not walk backward. Cry if you need to, but do not rebuild the chains. Miss what was familiar if you must, but do not call it home again. If this word reached the hidden place in you, write, "My season is turning now." Let it be agreement. Let it be witness. Let it be a marker that you heard me and did not dismiss the moment I placed before you. Like this message if you receive it. Share it with one person who is standing quietly at the edge of their own turning. Subscribe so you do not miss the next instruction I place on your path. And if the part of this message about your mind being restored spoke to you, the link in the description will show you the 8-minute audio I mentioned from Dr. Barone and his team. Look with peace. Read with wisdom. Move only if your spirit is settled. If it is not for you, remain in peace. If it is for you, let it support what I am already restoring. But remember this clearly, no tool is your savior, no resource is your God. I alone am the one who turns the season. Now breathe. Let your shoulders drop, let your jaw soften, let your hands open. The old season is not stronger than my word. The delay is not stronger than my timing. The betrayal is not stronger than my protection. The exhaustion is not stronger than my restoration. The confusion is not stronger than my clarity. The fear is not stronger than my love. You are not leaving this message the same way you entered it. I am before you. I am behind you. I am within the turning. I am in the door, in the hallway, in the release, and in the first step you are afraid to take. Go in peace. Walk with me. Choose obedience before panic. Choose truth before memory. Choose the new season without dragging the old chains behind you. What I have begun in you, I will complete.